Hello, my name is Mike. This is a bike. This is one of my early production Victory motorcycles. The first 1,500 motorcycles that Victory produced in 1998, 1999. They actually put a little number on the riser for the handlebars. And the early production bikes have a few other minor differences, like there's a Victory logo on one of the spokes of the wheel, and the Made in USA logo is in 4 locations on the valve covers instead of just 1. Those are some of the differences. Will this become a collector's bike one day? I kind of hope so. But anyway, I digress. This bike is not the topic of today's episode. You'll notice that behind me, well, I've got a car on my hoist. This is my 1993 Buick Century station wagon. And if you watched previous videos I've made about this station wagon, well, you saw me tear into the transmission while it was still on the car, replace some components, cobble it back together, and got the transmission going once again. So, you might be thinking, well, why is it on the hoist? Did the transmission fail? Well, no, actually, the transmission has continued to work just fine. I had to make a few minor adjustments, but it works great. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm kind of surprised. That's not why it's here. No, actually, the reason this car is on the hoist is because when I drove the car, I noticed this horrible grinding sound coming from the front wheels. And I found that if I turned the wheel and loaded the car left or right, the noise would go away. That indicates to me that it's almost gotta be the front wheel bearings. Well, those are famous last words. I've been known to say that before and found out I was wrong, but I was so confident I went ahead and ordered the parts and they've arrived. So in this episode, we're gonna tear into the front of this vehicle and we're gonna replace those front wheel bearings. So stick around.
Somewhere in a dusty, dirty back alley in western Arizona, not far from historic Route 66, is an old fart trying to cram a square peg into a round hole. He'll work on anything, just as long as it's got at least 2 cool wheels. Now, one thing you may have noticed me doing is I get into the head of the either Allen or Torx head bolts with a small screwdriver to remove debris before inserting the socket. That way you know the socket's fully engaged. And you always want to use a breaker bar to get them loose before you put an impact on them. I can't tell you how many Torx bits I've broken and Allen heads I've broken trying to get a bolt loose. So you want to take those measures, otherwise you'll end up with broken tools. Well, it turns out the parts that I got, because they're, the cheapest ones on eBay, don't fit. So this one looks like it used to have a speed sensor. And the diameter of the spline shaft from the CV axle is different than the diameter of the axles on the car. So this one won't work. This one appears to have the correct diameter. However, you'll notice that the axle shaft is very deeply recessed on this one. And on this one, it's not as deeply recessed. And when you look at it from the side, the bearing is about a 1/2 inch wider than that bearing. If you get this angle here, you can probably see it better. So that one won't work. Time to get on the computer and, send some emails out. Well, I had to order the correct wheel bearings. It's going to take a couple days for them to get here. So in the meantime, well, there's other stuff we can do. I'm going to go ahead and drop the fuel tank back down out of this car. I mean back down because somebody else already had it out. The fuel gauge doesn't work. I crawled under the car the other day off camera and I put a load on the wires that go back to the fuel gauge, and I was able to get the needle to move. So that tells me the wiring is good, the gauge is good. I've just got an open circuit in the tank sending unit somewhere. Hopefully it's just a wire I can fix and I don't have to order a gas tank sending unit. I mean, every time I run into parts, I gotta wait. So we're gonna drop it down. Hopefully it's something we can fix easily. Popper off her tool. Popper off. Off we go. Go. Another one. Up there. Gotcha. Hey, I did that. You're a hot rod. And go. Goodness. Alright, here we go. Go. Old. Don't work too good to walk here, dude. Good, it's good. Come on down. Come on down. It's clear. Oh. And she's got gas in her. Look at that, Straps. And come on down. There we go. Don't you know?
Oh, goodness. Well, think I know why we don't have a fuel gauge. It's gone. That's where it's supposed to mount, right there. And we got wires that don't go to anything. And I thought I was a butcher. Got a new pump, but gotta order more parts. Ay, ay, ay. Well, it's the next day. Parts have arrived. Fortunately, O'Reilly Auto Parts was able to get that tank sending unit for me overnight. I got one of my hub bearings, but the other one won't be here till tomorrow. So we'll do what we can, and we're also going to give the old beastie an oil change, something I haven't done since I got it. So, back to it. Alright, this is much better. Much better than the one that's in it. And that's because, come on there, it's got a floaty thing. We need that floaty thing to measure the fuel level. What do I put this in? Ouch. Alright, do I have a new seal? Uh-oh. They didn't put a new oil. Oh, yeah, dang it. You'd think they would. Knock it off. Little ends. Come on out of here, Mr. Pope. Come. There we go. This away. Make sure that ain't right. Correct. Just yeah, this guy again. Alright, just have to use the old seal, the old rock ring, but that's fine. Oh yeah, if I plugged in the pump, surely would suck to get this all put back together and realize I'd forgotten this after the fact. Get on that plug. That's everywhere. Oh, we got a match here. Sounds like famous last words. Alrighty. Let's see. Should be able to get the car to start. And we should have fuel gauge reading. I don't know what's going on here. Indicators. Fires right up. And look at the old fuel gauge. I like it. So we've got fuel pressure. We've got a gauge that works. You know, we got some other stuff going on. But we'll get it all figured out. Alright, got the right part. Yeah, I had to pay a little bit more. You know, when you're a cheapskate, you look to save money where you can, but sometimes it's a false economy. Now, what I didn't show you is off camera. I put a little bit of fresh grease in there. There is a little bit of grease in this area here. Just protects it from moisture and so forth. Get this thing lined up. Should go right in. Work with me here. Look at that. I love it when a part fits correctly. All right, where's my bolts? This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Well, not all of you. Okay, this is the moment I've been waiting for to confirm that this car now is done away with that horrible grinding noise up front. Transmission works properly, and I don't have to worry about running out of gas while I'm road testing it because the gas gauge works. It still needs a lot of other little stuff, but at least now I can jump in this car and drive it if I need to. Like, I have so many other vehicles to choose from, but you know what I'm saying, right? It is now a drivable vehicle, at least in theory. Yeah, the check engine light is on. Needs a TP sensor. I've got that ordered. Radio still doesn't work. I got to tear into the dash on that one. But those are for, you know, other videos. This video, we just want to make sure it's drivable without the front end falling apart. Something I didn't mention or really focus on much is I also replaced all the engine mounts. They were all destroyed, so should drive pretty smooth. So, here we go. is sweet. No horrible grinding sound from the front end, just on that short stretch there. We haven't got it up to highway speed yet, so that'll be the real test. And one thing I will say is, this is a 3.3 liter, same displacement as the Rusty Grenade, but man, this thing responds. It's way, way quicker. Just shows you what a decade of technology does between a carbureted inline-six and a fuel-injected V6. I'm never going to get out of here. You know, it's rush hour, of course. Perfect timing. All right, come on, guys, let me out. I don't want to be a prisoner. It's got a little bit of tire vibration from sitting, but no more grinding sound. That's perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. Didn't want to hear. Anyway, she's a runner. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We got the old Buick back on the road, made a functional, drivable car out of her. Still needs a little bit of TLC, but other than that, I'm really, really happy with it. Especially for how little I spent to get it back on the road. You know, sometimes us cheapskates do okay. Thanks for watching.